If you're wondering how our floors in our living space and kitchen stay squeaky clean all the time in our videos, the secret would be this guy right here. The Ecovac T30s is a Robovac that I covered extensively in a review back in the first half of 2024. I talked about all its functionalities and features, and if you want to learn everything this machine has to offer, you should definitely check out that video. This right here, however, is a long-term review. We're going to focus on my practical experience, because let's be honest, it's usually after a certain period of time and you really get to know how good a Robovac is when, maintenance and all those other factors come into play. So let's talk about it. As always, links to the product will be in the video description below so you can learn more or purchase it directly from those links. Let's get into it. When it comes to owning a Robovac, maintenance can be a deal breaker or a deal maker. Now, in terms of this guy right here, the T30s is really simple to keep maintained. So for example, day-to-day maintenance only really has two components. You have the aspect of filling up the clean water tank and emptying out the dirty water tank. I have to do this once every 3 to 4 cleaning sessions, which isn't all too bad. And then I do like to keep the base tray clean, so I do remove it, which is very straightforward, scrub it clean at the sink, and then put it back in place. Again, this takes no more than a couple of minutes. I only have to really do this at most once a month. The auto empty function on the Omni Station is extremely efficient. It does a great job emptying out both the canisters on the Robovac as well as the handheld unit, but because it compresses it so nicely within the dustbin itself, I've only had to replace it a total of once in my 6 months of ownership. To show you guys how genuinely low maintenance this thing is, have a look at the bottom of this vacuum. The first thing you'll notice is these mop pads have clearly seen some wear and tear. Despite that though, they're the original mop pads and the fiber is still perfectly in place. They're plush and they're good for another 100 hours according to the Ecovac home app itself, and I don't see any issues with these things in the near future. Now, the most impressive part by far is the zero tangle brush over here. It really does live up to its name. I've never actually untangled hair on this thing ever since owning this vacuum. I kid you not, after every cleaning session, it pretty much just takes care of itself. In fact, I purposely left this red string here to show you guys that I don't touch the thing whatsoever. Same thing with the side brush. I rarely have to intervene or remove hair from it manually. For the most part, it doesn't really tangle any hair at all. And same thing with the handheld unit. So the actual zero tangle brush component on that does not capture any hair whatsoever, and again is very low maintenance as a result. Of course, it's worth mentioning you don't have to literally flip your vacuum to know when to replace your components. The Ecovac home app has a convenient user interface that shows you the lifespan or the estimated lifespan of all your components, when you should replace them, and easy instructions on how to do it as well. The 11,000 Pascal motor here is no joke. We find that on the first run, it picks up like 99% of all the debris that comes in its way, and we clean everything from our kitchen, which gets a lot of dirt, to the carpet we have as well, which picks up a lot of hair strands, for example, and it again does a great job. In fact, if you look at our carpet, you'll notice it looks in pristine condition, and the sole reason for that has to be the T30s. Like, I can bet on that. Also, of course, the mopping functionality is top tier, so the True Edge mop system is really amazing. We find that our kitchen gets a lot of oil stains over time. It can get greasy, as kitchens do, but because of the adaptive arm, it goes into all those tight spaces, especially near the stove, and it captures all those oil stains and picks them up every single time. And I find that if it weren't actually for this thing running on a regular basis in the kitchen, our floor would look the bad kind of shiny, would have grease stains, but because this thing runs so well on it, we rarely have a situation where we have to bring out the old-fashioned mop to clean the floor. Battery health has also been great with this vacuum. That's often something that's the first to fail in long-term reviews with Robovacs, but you'll notice that if you look at my cleaning log here, I've used this vacuum for about just under 90 hours of runtime, or in other perspective, about 37,000 square feet of area has been cleaned, which is quite the number, and despite that, I'd comfortably say battery health is around 100%, so Ecovac claims you can get up to 200 minutes. However, I find that even after a full 120-minute long run session, which I frequently have, again looking at the log, I usually end the session on about 50 to 40% battery remaining, which means I could do the whole clean job all over again. And to show you guys how extensive it is, I usually do the mopping and vacuuming separately, so it has to run over the floor plan twice in a row. Speaking of the floor plan, the mapping system is extremely accurate. The laser navigation system combined with the general software here is so on point that even if you change settings around, like the table or the chairs, the Robovac is comfortably able to navigate around it. And in fact, I find that it's gotten better and better as more time has passed as far as the navigational awareness goes. In equal perspective, the handheld unit has been just as reliable. It still has the same suction power it did on day 0, and even after cleaning all the stairs and a lot of the rough areas around my house, its battery life is amazing. I rarely use more than 30% in any given run, and it charges conveniently thanks to the Omni Station, of course. Overall, I'd say that the Deebot T30s is a fantastic vacuum. Despite the rugged use it goes through, this vacuum looks like it's in great shape thanks to a high quality build. Its battery efficiency is amazing. The Omni Station is extremely convenient, and of course combine that with the fact that this thing is super low maintenance with its components lasting a long time, minimizing your overhead cost as well. These are all the things you kind of look for in a Robovac, and of course combine that with the exceptionally amazing mopping system as well as the powerful suction motor. I mean, what more could you possibly ask for? From my end, this thing is a solid bargain and definitely lives up to its value. If you are interested in learning more about it or purchasing it, I will have links in the video description below for your convenience. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. Catch you in the next one.